UFC Saudi Arabia, we have 11 fights headlined by Ikram Aliskerov stepping in on short notice for Hamza Chimaev to take on Robert Whittaker. This is a very fun card, and I honestly have made a lot of bets since my last video. So if you want a more in-depth, longer breakdown on every single fight on this card, check that out from a couple days ago. But I have made some bets since then. This is going to be quick picks and all my bets so far in the week as of Thursday today. So make sure you let me know in the comments what your favorite bet on this fight card is. And if you haven't heard from my last video, I personally have the biggest bet of my entire betting career. 7 years of almost betting this sport every single week. And I made my biggest bet ever. And we're going to be talking about that. I'll give you a hint. It is in the main event. But we'll go over that very soon. Let's start from the bottom to the top. Make sure you like the video and click subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. This first fight of the night is a road to the UFC finale. That is kind of like the Ultimate Fighter or Dana White Contender Series. It's a little bit more like the Ultimate Fighter because it's a tournament, but it's out there for China and South Korea and a lot of these countries in Asia. But this is a pretty good fight. I don't even know if necessarily these are the best guys that were in that tournament. They had some close competitive fights, but it should be fun. I'm leaning on the slight underdog. It's basically even money, but I'm leaning on the Lee side. I like what I've seen. He is a little green, but I think overall he could both these guys could mix in some takedowns, but I'm going to say he gets on top a little bit more. He can land the better shots in the feet, but not a huge lean either side, and I'm not going to bet the fight. I just want to watch. I do have a bet on this next fight, though. Next up, we got Magomed Gadzhiyusuf taking on Brinson Ribeiro. Man, I feel like I pronounced that better on the last video, but yeah, I mean, this is an interesting fight. I mean, Magomed, you know, we talked about him. He's a good fighter. He does want to get on top. He does want to mix in the wrestling, but you know, he's definitely fought nobody yet. Like, his wins are very sus. Hasn't really done anything yet. And honestly, if you look at his amateur career, you know, he's taken a lot of these low-level guys to decision. I'm sure he's gotten better since then. But, you know, I talked about in my longer video that I kind of like the overs, and they're big plus money. So I actually bet the over 1.5 at plus 200. As I know Ribeiro is a kill or be killed. He does tend to finish you or finish pretty early, but I honestly think Magomed's going to get the takedowns and get on top, and maybe, you know, I lean honestly towards him probably getting still a late finish or, you know, maybe late in the second, but, you know, there is a good chance that, especially at plus 200, that, you know, this could drag on a little bit, and he could honestly win by decision. I don't hate, you know, I was looking at him, I haven't bet it yet, but I see it's like 7-1 him to win by decision. I get people taking the underdog money on Ribeiro. I honestly do think Gads should be able to get on top. I'm not trying to pronounce that again. And the striking should be competitive enough. Ribeiro is dangerous, though. He's there to be hit. Somebody could get clipped on the feet, but I'm going to lean Magomed. I'm going to lean the over 1.5 at plus 200. I like the plus money. I honestly think people think Magomed's just going to take him down and smash him in the first, but I don't really think that's going to happen. Next up, we got Moin Gafarov taking on Kung Ho Kang. If you didn't see my last video, man, I'm on the Kang side. I think he should be the favorite. I think Gafarov's pretty solid. You know, he's got some power. He's got some decent takedowns. But, you know, Kang's the bigger guy. He's going to come in better shape. He's got better cardio. I think he should be the favorite. You know, I get it's going to be a close fight. So I did also bet fight goes to decision minus 151. Both guys are tough and durable. Neither guy, you know, well, Gafarov goes to the finish a little bit. I'm thinking about maybe a Kang sub prop. I was looking at him a little bit. Haven't bet it yet, you know, but I don't think Gafarov's going to knock him out. So maybe Kang can find the sub, but I honestly think the over, I think Kang with volume, and he can get some top game of his own going. So give me Kang by decision. I did bet the fight goes to decision minus 151, and I did bet Kang plus 138. He's actually like plus 141 right now, I think, on like Bet Online. So didn't expect that, but hey, you can jump on that still. Next up, we got Hanat Fakhratinov taking on Nicholas Dalby. Fakhratinov is a big favorite. I think he should be a favorite, but you know, we saw in his last fight, even though you can't give him too much crap, Zaleski's very dangerous. He's always live to catch you with something. Hanat won 12 minutes of the fight. He just got absolutely destroyed to the body. He showed his toughness by not giving up, not quitting. A lot of people could have finished. He stuck it out. But, Dalby's he's a dog. He fights for your money if you bet on him as an underdog. I heard some good stats. He's like 5-1 as an underdog in the UFC. So, maybe he pulls it off again. And, it's hard to count him out. I really do think, he's a tough guy, durable, never been finished except in that Jesse Ronson fight, who was juiced to the tits, and that became a no contest. So I think Fakhretdinov gets on top. Dalby has been taken down, but I don't know if it's going to be as easy to finish him. I thought about maybe a sub prop, but I honestly, I think if Dalby wins, it's probably by decision as well. I don't think he would finish Fakhretdinov. Both guys are tough. Both guys are durable. I'm going to lean the fight goes to decision as well, and both of them, as well as the King fight, it was also -151. So I bet half a unit on, or unit and a half on both of those. I think both of those cash. I think they're the passive, well, not parlay, straight bets, but betting on a little passivity. Is that the word? Next up, we got Muhammad Naimov taking on Felipe Lima, and I just think I do like Lima. He's dangerous, good strike. He's pretty well-rounded everywhere. Good cardio. Showed he can go 5 rounds. But I think Naimov is just, this is a featherweight fight. Lima, I think, it's probably just because it's short notice and, it's his way to get into the UFC. And I get that. And I do think he's good. I think he's got a career, a future at Bantam. But I think this could end up being like a oh my God, wow. Who just got knocked out by Dustin Poirier. Why is his name? Staph infection. Oh my God, I can't think. I don't know why that's going to hit me at the end of the video, but a similar situation where they're coming in up a weight class. They're probably just going to be, Naimov, against Nathaniel Wood, he had a size advantage. He did what he had to do. He typically isn't a guy who's just trying to wrestle and stay on top of you like that the whole time, but, he did what he had to do, and I think I like to see that in the quality of a guy that I'm betting on. I got him at plus money, plus 125. Honestly, it's basically even money, kind of like the opening fight, but I think he's like plus 105 on a book left. So, I think he should be like a -130, -140 favorite. Probably, maybe even like, I'd play him like, I wouldn't play him. I'd probably line him like -150. I honestly think he should be the favorite. He's the bigger, stronger guy here at this division. I think he can mix in some takedowns. Lima is dangerous off his back with the scrambles. He could maybe try to sweep him, get on top, find a sub, but I'm going to lean the guy I think can get on top more often than not. Give me Muhammad Naimov by decision. I did also bet, here we go, goes the decision plus 105. So I got 3 different decision props on this fight, on this card, but I honestly do think it's going to be an entertaining card. Those are just some, I like those lines on those. Next up, we got Nasrat Haqparast taking on Jared Gordon. I don't have a huge take on this fight. I think Nasrat should be the favorite, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of grappling but from Gordon. If I knew he was going to come out here and wrestle, we've seen Nasrat taken down. I think Gordon's a solid grappler, but we haven't really seen that from him a ton. I can't really bank on that. If he was, if you're having to, I think it's dog or pass. I'm just going to choose the pass. The pick is Nasrat. I'm going to take him by decision. He could clip Gordon, who has been knocked out before, but I'm going to pick Nasrat by decision. And let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got Johnny Walker versus Volkan Oezdemir. This is another one where, I have a lot of bets on this card. These last two just ain't it for me. I'm going to lean, I thought maybe, it's 2 guys that are just going to, most likely throw down. Johnny Walker has the, on paper, he's just the bigger guy, more explosive. A lot of people seem to be on the Johnny Walker side. I was thinking, maybe I get like plus 140 on Oezdemir. I might have to take it. Nah. I'm just going to lay off of it. The pick is Volkan for me. If you're I think it's dog or pass, but it's not enough plus money for me to sweat it out and lose, make all my hair turn gray by the end of this fight. Someone's probably going to get knocked out. I thought about like, Johnny Walker sub. It's not enough. The money's not crazy enough for me, so just going to lay off of it, but I'll pick Oezdemir. I don't blame people betting him. A little plus money against Johnny Walker always. No, you can't really go wrong there. Next up, we got Shara Magomedov taking on Antonio Ciccoli. I don't have much to say about this fight. I like the last matchup a lot better. Ciccoli was supposed to fight Alaskarov. It was basically a sacrifice because Ciccoli missed or pulled out of a couple fights. He popped for steroids. The UFC's like, all right, look here, buddy. You're going to fight Alaskarov and get destroyed, or we cut you. Which do you want, red or blue? And he was like, all right, I'll go ahead and get sacrificed. And then low key, was that fight ever really gonna happen? He probably would have pulled out or something. But I can't. I shouldn't say that. You never know. But anyways, now he's fighting a more winnable fight. I mean, Shara has shown he can be taken down, he can be subbed. But, you know, so if you're betting it does have to be dog or pass, because Shara's like minus 600 or something. It does make me want to be like, do I want to bet this bodybuilder jiu-jitsu guy? Like, he just doesn't have, but he doesn't have any wrestling. But I know everybody's like, oh, worst wrestling of all time from Shara. But, like, you gotta, dude, you're Russian. The UFC's, like, getting behind you, and they're trying to build you. You'd think you'd be like, oh, hey, look, I got great striking, but I can't wrestle for shit, and I'm around nothing but, like, the best wrestlers. Maybe I should do some wrestling. If he's gotten any better in the wrestling, he should just kick the living crap out of Chikoli on the feet. But Chikoli is huge. He is the bigger guy. He does have a jiu-jitsu. I mean, it is a little tempting to throw a little underdog money on it. If this line gets outrageous, I mean, it already is kind of. It's just like, do I really want to get behind this guy? I don't even know if he's a real fighter. I hate to say that, but, like, I don't know if I'm probably going on and on this too much. But, you know, the plus money on Chikoli is almost tempting. Is this guy even really committed to fighting? I'd just be basically betting against Shara at that point. But he is a grappler, so it's a little tempting. But I think I'll lay off, man. Let's move on, man. I've spent too long on that. We got the featured fight next. Kelvin Gastelum, Daniel Rodriguez. Apparently this is at 185 now. Shaking my head, bro. Like, if you're betting Kevin Gastelum, like, minus 250, when he literally is coming in, like, he couldn't even make 180 catch weight. I feel bad for D-Rod. He was like, oh, I got to gain weight now to make the, like, he might be exaggerating, but that's such BS. Like, unprofessional, lazy, fat shit. I hate saying shit like that about professional athletes, but it's just ridiculous. Dude has so much raw, like, ability and shit, and he just, yeah, it's rough. But, you know, I'll ever so slightly lean Kelvin Gastelum, especially because of the cheating, you know, but no, not betting the fight. I got like 9 bets on this card, and none on that. I will pass on that. Next up, we got the co-main event, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov. This is getting to the point where I am tempted to I see plus 220 on Volkov. You know, it's like, if he gets out of the first round, I think what I really will do is sit back, watch the first round, and if he survives the first round and doesn't get nuked, or it looks like a sparring match, that he's probably going to go from plus 220 if he loses the first round to, like, you know, plus 500, plus 400. So, you know, if he does, I might have to bet him. Pavlovich, we don't know his cardio is bad, but we don't know it isn't. We haven't really had to see it. So, I know Volkov can go 3, he can go 5 easy. So, you know, at this point, it's dog or pass. I'm not parlaying Pavlovich. I'm not betting him. I'm going to pick him by knockout, but, you know, minus 250 and all that, like, nah. Main event, man. Y'all know my biggest bet of all time. Robert Whittaker taking on Ikram Aliskerov. And some people will say, oh, you're biased, you love Robert. Yeah, I do love Robert. I'm a big fan. That is true, so you can keep that in mind. But honestly, I don't hate Ikram. Like, this dude's exciting. I think he's a good prospect. I think he's good. But this is the biggest step up of all time. We talked about how he was supposed to fight Chikoli like a fake fighter. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this is about betting and money's on the line. I got to be real. Chikoli, like, has fought nobody. He's like a bodybuilder that's solid at jiu-jitsu. Like, this is the biggest step up of all time. You're going into a fight like, yo, if I don't slip on a banana peel and break my leg, I'm going to destroy this guy, Chikoli. Now you're fighting the 3rd greatest middleweight of all time. People are acting like he's 45 years old. He's 33. He is an older 33 with fight age, but, like, you know, Robert Whittaker is he's one of the most well-rounded fighters of all time, like I talked about in my longer breakdown. You know, like, I just think Robert can compete I think he's the better overall striker. I think Aliskerov can probably wrestle him, take him down early, but after that, you know, his only chance to winning is early, and that's why, which I didn't talk about in my earlier video because I just found this line, I did make a couple little hedges. One is a very interesting bet. I took Ikram round 1 only. So if it goes beyond the round 1, I just get my money back. As long as Robert doesn't finish him in the first, which that's not really Rob. Unless Ikram comes out absolutely guns blazing, going nuts, which is possible. But minus 120, Ikram round 1 only. And so a little hedge. And Ikram round 1 or round 2 plus 370. Those are 2 little hedges. And then I have a big bag on Robert Whittaker, minus 130. He is creeping up to like minus 150 now, which I still think is playable. I think he has way more paths to victory. I wanted to put a little hedge because I talked about all week. Yes, of course, Ikram could knock him out early, or he could maybe, if he gets a takedown in the first 3 minutes, it's going to be trouble. But I think Rob, after that first round and a half, I'm going to go, whew, okay, we're good. And once he works himself into this fight, I think he takes over. So give me Robert Whittaker. I put a big old bag on him. We sell him the house and car if this doesn't cash. But let me go through all my bets one more time. I got Robert Whittaker with a big max bet, minus 130. Hedged, little hedges, Ikram round 1 or round 2, plus 370, and Ikram round 1 only. Anything else is a push, minus 120. I also have Naimov plus 125, and Naimov versus Lima goes to decision plus 105. I have Kane plus 138. I also have the Kane fight versus Gaziev goes to decision, or Gafarov goes to decision at minus 151. I have Fakhratinov versus Dalby goes to decision as well at minus 151. As those are both minus 151. And I have Gaziev versus Ribeiro over 1.5 at plus 200. Those are all of my bets. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter. Always go back and forth with you guys there. It's been real, as always. Like the video, click subscribe. I know I went a little longer, but, you know, I am pumped about this card and I have a lot of bets on it. So good luck. Make a bunch of money. I will catch you guys then. I'll catch you Sunday for the recap. Peace.